The last person you'd ever want uncovering your most guarded secrets is Emmerdale's Dr. Todd, but unfortunately, that's exactly what Charity Dingle is about to face in an upcoming ITV soap twist. Todd has completely shattered Jacob Sugden's confidence and sense of self-worth through her relentless and cruel behaviour, constantly targeting the young medical student at every opportunity. As a result of his mentor's toxic treatment, Jacob has felt so overwhelmed that he struggles to think clearly or concentrate, always anxious about how Todd might react if he makes even a small mistake. Tired of living under this pressure, he finally filed a formal complaint with HR earlier this week, leaving Todd furious and warning him to be cautious. However, Jacob refused to back down and stood firm against her intimidation. Despite this, Todd later took advantage of a situation when Charity was discovered in a lift after giving birth to a baby that Jacob and Sarah believe belongs to them. Charity was immediately taken into surgery, with Todd carrying out the operation. In one scene from Wednesday's episode, Sarah and Jacob meet the newborn while trying to come to terms with the traumatic circumstances, deeply concerned about Charity's condition. Jacob reassures Sarah that Todd is highly capable, suggesting that Charity is in safe hands. The operation seems successful, and Charity is later shown recovering in a hospital room, where she makes a frantic call to Chas, terrified that Ross, who assisted with the birth, is becoming emotionally attached to the baby. As viewers are aware, Ross is actually the biological father. Contrary to what Sarah and Jacob believe, the embryo transfer failed, and Charity later became pregnant with Ross's child after a brief encounter with him. Wanting to give Sarah the child she has always dreamed of, Charity chose to keep the truth about the baby's parentage a secret, but now fears Ross might reveal everything, prompting her to ask Chas to intervene. Chas confronts Ross outside the hospital, warning him to stay away from the baby. However, neither of them realizes that Dr. Todd has been listening to their entire conversation. This raises serious questions. How much did Todd hear? Has she discovered that the baby isn't Jacob's? And if she has, how will she use this information? Todd is known for her ruthless nature and has shown before, especially in situations involving Maya Stepney, that she will stop at nothing to maintain control. Will she challenge Charity directly, or will she go straight to Jacob and shatter his world by exposing the truth? Emmerdale star Natalie Ann Jamieson has revealed she was recently involved in a car crash, but was fortunately helped by her former co-star Olivia Bromley. Sharing the experience on Instagram, Jamieson described Bromley as a hero. She wrote that having a friend willing to travel halfway across Yorkshire to help after being hit by a lorry is something truly special. She also joked about losing her little red car, while expressing gratitude to Bromley for coming to the rescue. Jamieson, who left the soap last year after a 6-year run, reassured fans that everyone involved in the accident was safe and no one was injured. She also thanked her followers for their kind and supportive messages. The post included several selfies of the two actresses together, and Bromley responded in the comments with heart emojis. Another co-star shared relief that everyone involved was unharmed. Jamieson's final appearance on the show aired in February 2025, when her character Amy Wyatt was killed off following a dramatic limousine crash. Around the time of her departure, she shared an emotional tribute to the cast and crew. She expressed that playing the outspoken Geordie character with a kind heart had been the highlight of her career, describing the 6 years as unforgettable. She also praised the team for their work on the final episodes, saying she was incredibly proud of what they achieved. In her message, she added that she had many wonderful things to say about the show, but wanted to simply thank everyone involved, including viewers who supported her throughout the journey. She ended by sending love and appreciation to fans for their heartfelt messages. Meanwhile, Olivia Bromley is rumoured to be leaving the series later this year after 8 years in her role, although this has not been officially confirmed. Reports have suggested that her character could be written out of the storyline. In a recent discussion, it was suggested that if her exit does happen, the character deserves a strong and memorable send-off rather than a quiet departure. The argument highlighted that as a resilient character who has overcome many struggles, her final storyline should reflect her strength and leave a lasting impression on viewers. Ross is left deeply shaken in Emmerdale as he becomes increasingly involved in baby Layla's life. When Charity Dingle agreed to become a surrogate for her granddaughter Sarah Sugden and her partner Jacob Gallagher, no one could have imagined the chaos that would follow. However, long-time viewers of the soap might not be too surprised, given Charity's history of landing herself in dramatic and often self-created situations. With Sarah unable to adopt due to her medical condition and also unable to have children after undergoing a hysterectomy, Charity stepped in to help. After 2 rounds of IVF, it initially appeared that the plan had worked. But in reality, things were far more complicated. Charity was already pregnant, and the baby wasn't her husband Mackenzie Boyd's. Instead, it was the result of a drunken encounter with Ross Barton. When Ross learned about the pregnancy, he quickly suspected the child could be his and insisted on a DNA test. True to form, Charity manipulated the results and carried on as if nothing was wrong, despite knowing the truth herself. Later, she confided in Chas Dingle, who reluctantly agreed to keep the secret, even though she was furious at the situation Charity had created. Vanessa Woofield, however, reacted differently and informed Mac that the baby might be his. Mac, eager to come clean, attempted to tell Sarah and Jacob the truth, but events spiraled during a major crash, and Charity managed to stop him before everything was exposed. She encouraged him to take a DNA test, fully aware he couldn't be the father. However, Mac had already spoken to Ross, who quickly worked out that the child wasn't Mac's and was almost certainly his. Although he considered revealing the truth, Ross ultimately chose to stay silent. During the latest events, Charity went into labour while stranded in Mac's broken-down car. Ross came to their rescue and got them to the hospital, but complications arose when they became trapped in a loft, where Charity gave birth before suffering severe bleeding that required urgent treatment. In the upcoming episodes, Jacob and Sarah are overjoyed as they bring baby Layla, named after Jacob's late mother, home and embrace their new life as parents. The following day, Ross and Mac visit the family, bringing a gift from Charity's son, Moses. Ross is overwhelmed with emotion, especially when Jacob encourages him to hold the baby he helped deliver. Though clearly uncomfortable, Ross is then invited by Jacob to attend a gathering celebrating Layla's arrival. Fans know that Ross can be unpredictable when emotions run high, and now that he's living in the same village as his daughter, the question remains whether he can keep his distance, or if his feelings will lead to devastating consequences for everyone involved. Emmerdale is broadcast on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. on ITV1, and episodes are also available to stream from 7 a.m. on ITVX and YouTube.